What's going on, everybody? This is Dave from This Is Punk Promotions. I'm here with Without the Accent from Annapolis, Maryland. How's it going, fellas?
Good.
Pretty good. It's going good.
Let's jump right into it. When and how did you guys form?
So the name Without the Accent officially started on February 6th or February 7th of 2017, and it was started by me and this fella right here. That was the day we released our first single on like YouTube and the Bandcamp, and it wasn't really like a legit band at the time. We just kind of wanted to start a band and see where it's gonna go.
Did we have the name yet?
We had a name and a song
when we released the song.
Yeah, I think we recorded a song like a few months prior to that. And somewhere in between we came up with a name, but it was established on February 7th. And since it was just two of us, we couldn't really play shows or do much. So we were just kind of like, yeah, let's just keep pushing a song and just be active on social media and see what happens. And then a few months later, I met this fella at the local show in Annapolis.
Yeah, because you were wearing an architect sweater, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, he was like the first thing.
This guy has taste.
I walk into a venue, and the first thing I see is like this kid coming up to me is like, "Oh, nice long sleeve," and
yeah,
and that's where we just start talking nonstop. Like,
yeah.
we spent a whole night just getting to know each other and talking about music, and at some point we realized that we live pretty relatively close to each other. So I was like, do you want to jam?
Yeah, which was really great because like I was originally in a different band, which is now defunct. RIP. Echo Heart. Yeah, so I started like actually playing more seriously in this band once I kind of got out of that whole situation, and we started doing stuff like pretty quickly. Like within,
like we started like the first time we jammed, it was just me and him. Like he wasn't there at the time, but yeah, we're just really like we played some covers, like some Boys from a Valentine, and some, and like we just clicked, and that's when like things actually started to come. Like things appeared to us that like, yeah, like this is like band is actually taking the shape. We can actually start doing more, like schedule shows and.
We started recording like less than a year later.
Yeah.
Well, like for the first EP. So that's kind of we got started really, really fast.
Yeah. Well, like, it was like slow at first, but then it just picked up.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you guys just dropped a new song, Pulling Through. How's the response been?
It's been amazingly unexpected.
Yeah. It was really good.
I think it's been a pleasure to kind of come back in a way from about a year's worth of a hiatus to kind of releasing new music again, and it's been a pleasure to definitely put stuff out there again.
Yeah, the response been like it was good, but we didn't expect it to be that good.
Yeah, people really fucked with it. It was great. Like they're like I send stuff like sometimes to like friends of mine, and they tend to like it, but like they really went kind of surprisingly nuts over this song. Like it is now on like the workout playlist of at least one of my friends, which is really high praise.
It's mine too.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it goes hard. It's great.
Yeah.
That's sick. So who do you guys record it with, and how was the process?
Well, it's gonna be both of those answers.
Yeah,
I think it's like so I'll take it a little bit back because like our first EP, So What's Your Story, we recorded ourselves, and it was very DIY, very just OG way,
at
like
home studio,
at home, mics to the amp, like
just DIY
right here, pretty much.
Yeah. We came prepared.
Yeah. We by that we mean we left those cabs, and they've been there for like 3 months.
With Pulling Through, it was kind of the same concept. We recorded instrumentals ourselves, but instead of doing mic to the amp type of thing, we'd use like more modern way, like plugins and.
We use the new Gojira plugin, which is just
Oh, shout out to Neural shout out to Neural DSP.
dude, it's literally so awesome. Neural DSP is literally
It's the best.
so fucking awesome. It's like they just kind of give you everything.
Everything you
like,
need.
Yeah, literally everything we need. Like we could have we pretty much like no, I mean every tone on there is with Neural DSP, right? I mean, because the bass is dark glass.
Well, it's still Neural DSP.
Yeah.
So we did this whole single with plugins and like pretty much all instrumentals were done here at home, and then with vocals,
Just get good drums.
we went to Buzz Lounge recording studio here in Baltimore, and
Our boy Eric.
and it was the vocals, mastering, mixing was done by Eric Taft. Shout out to Buzz Lounge.
Good buddy Eric.
He did, and we did vocals, mixed and mastered, and so there was partially DIY, partially the studio job, and I think with this single we definitely found our just kind of like our niche, our recording groove. And it's like this went well. This is how we're going to be doing it from now on.
It's just a one step higher than the last one. You know, last one was all at home. This one, it's half and half. Maybe next
And I
time
think
it'll be all in the studio.
Yeah,
Trying out new things.
yeah. That's one thing we always try to like. We definitely want to spice up things a little bit.
Yeah.
That's
Always
awesome.
Trying new stuff, just figure out what works best for us. Because we managed to incorporate all the stuff that worked really well about our first process and kind of cut out all the stuff that, didn't
work out.
Like, for instance, doing it over the span of 9 months is how long it took to record the first one, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Altogether, 9 months. Good Lord, that was
done like a month.
yeah. This one right here, this single was done in like a month, under a month. I think altogether it was.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you guys are from Annapolis. How's the scene there? Do you have a favorite local band, a favorite venue?
So we're
That's all
kind
the
of
question.
yeah. So we're kind of like in we're trying. Since Maryland is such a small state, like everything is close by. Like we have Annapolis music scene, and like 40 minutes up north we have Baltimore music scene, and then 40 minutes down west we have DC music scene. So we're kind of like we're always trying to be part of all of it.
We're consistently trying to bounce back and forth between all the 3 major cities in Maryland, but the band originated in Annapolis, so therefore we just leave it with Annapolis.
Yeah.
But
But
to be honest, they're just
So-
a Maryland band, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
to answer like, your question about the Annapolis music scene, it's very like you wouldn't expect a heavy band come out of there out of Annapolis, because there's a lot of like acoustic songwriter, like reggae, like a lot of some like summer vibe music going on there, and you wouldn't expect a heavy band come out of that spot, but luckily Annapolis been treating us pretty well. Even like those bands, they've been liking our.
we're fortunate
Awesome.
enough to know a lot of those dudes out there. So even though we're not in the same music world, we still get along with everybody down there, and it's always a pleasure to play for our hometown friends and everything. But if we're being honest, the scene that we actually try to expand on is Baltimore and DC. That's where the real action actually happens.
So Baltimore is very has a lot of like a big pop punk scene going on, actually. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of good bands like Crosswinds, At the
out
Face
Crosswinds.
Value,
Follow Your Bliss.
Follow your
Follow Your
bliss,
Bliss.
shadow, follow your
Follow Your
bliss.
Bliss, and One Life to Lead. Like a lot of good music been coming out of Baltimore, and like we're fortunate enough to meet with some of these bands. And then in DC we have our friends in Waters Deep.
I got to hear some of Waters Deep is
Yeah,
they're great.
But, like,
They're great. I'm
killing it.
not biased at all. They're great. But no, it's the guys from One Life to Lead. I got to hear some of the stuff that they're going to be, I think, putting out soon if they haven't put it out yet. It's really cool. Like there's a lot of people making some really cool stuff. That's the one that I'm really excited for, honestly. Like,
So like Maryland definitely has good like music overall coming out.
Very cool. So who are your biggest influences?
Oof, oh,
Yeah, we branch out.
starting.
Am I starting me?
Yeah, I'm starting.
Yeah.
Personally, I've been influenced by a lot of like the 2010s metalcore stuff. So you're looking at Devil Wears Prada, Asking Alexandria, Bring Me the Horizon, those type of bands, the core bands. Recently, I've been diving into more of like the, I guess, Era and Ghost Inside type stuff. I think almost the same thing can be said about you, but you have more of a broader punk influence.
Yeah,
So that's
we'll
what you-
get to you. What's about you?
Those are mainly the best, no, the big ones for me.
Then you like EDM too. Like,
I mean, I'm also a huge EDM freak, but that's a different story.
No, it's good. It was good to have that influence, especially on the new, especially on like the new stuff where we're doing a little bit more electronic stuff. We can
Yeah.
kind of incorporate the stuff that the stuff that like Andre and I don't have as much experience with.
Mm.
Mhm.
You know, being able to like for that breakdown that we were doing, that we do on Pulling Through, where there's like a lot of that kind of
Glitchy.
stuff.
It's not,
Yeah.
kind of has a dubstep feel, but not necessarily dubstep, more just like electronic, distorted, noisy type
Like,
sound.
like kind of adjacent to the whole Mick Gordon core thing.
Yeah.
Like, but except like not as
I guess
heavy,
he's
because
our
nobody's
influence
as heavy
now.
as Mick Gordon.
I guess he's our influence now.
Yeah, dude, we got to just get 9 strings and just play Doom covers.
Who knows?
I don't know about all that.
But as for my influences, like I've been pretty much like I like the same stuff that he does, like the metalcore, like early 2010, like Asking Alexandria, Issues, like Devil Wears Prada. But before I got into that stuff, I was very into like 90s punk, like early 2000. Like Green Day is one of my favorite bands. Green Day, Blink, Newfound Glory.
I think that's where the easy core vibe comes from, and for Without the Accent is just we try to, I guess, mesh the metalcore sound with the
Like pop punk, like
all the punk categories, so pop punk and
pop punk, metal, or if we're talking about easy core, like bands like Chunk, No Captain Chunk, 4 Years Strong, even like
Day to Remember.
the Day to Remember, or even like OG guys, Newfound Glory. Like they're like definitely like, those bands gave me idea of just kind of like what to go for when it comes to mashing up like those two sounds. But yeah, I'm just kind of all over the place. I listen like metal, punk, so EDM, hip hop, you name it. try to be open minded.
Right. Okay. I mean, the short answer is it's all over the goddamn place. It's a lot of different kinds of rock and metal. I mean, in terms of metal, I really got started on thrash, like Metallica mostly, and then I got introduced to Meshuggah around, I think, when I was 15, and from there I just went on to like Periphery and more kind of metalcore stuff. Like I got it weirdly enough, I got into like metalcore through Meshuggah, I guess.
It's an odd take.
It's kind of like going backwards, right? Like, because you kind of tend to start off with like metalcore, and then you get into Meshuggah, and then you become an insane, pretentious asshole. But yeah, and then there's also like Tool. I'm like a very kind of thrash and prog kind of guy. But the metalcore stuff is also a really heavy influence. Specifically, stuff like Periphery isn't really metalcore, but it's it's the thing that I consistently listen to that is, I think, probably closest to metalcore. But yeah, and then there's all the other stuff that doesn't quite relate to what we're doing with this band, like like Tool and Rammstein and all of that.
Rammstein, yeah.
As for the full band, though, I mean, I guess if we had to pinpoint a few bands for collectively as Without the Accent, it would either just be Chunk, No Captain Chunk,
Definitely.
A Day to Remember, anything that's like on like the broader styles of the punk scene. We don't try to stick within just a metalcore sound or just a pop punk sound or any of that. We try to blend it all together, and
just try to show people like that we're capable of like playing almost like
and like
Exactly.
most of the genres.
screw boundaries.
Exactly.
No boundaries.
Very cool. So now I'm going to ask you guys some non-music questions. It's a good way for me to get to know you. I did this with the other bands I interviewed. Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. First one, favorite book.
Captain Underpants.
The Dirt.
The Dirt. Ooh, that's a good serious one, man.
Oh God. I don't read enough.
You read more. You probably read more than us too.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like a lot of what I'm reading is like for school, so like it's not super. It's not like it's not like a narrative based thing. But I've read a lot of really interesting stuff about Cuba for one class. There was some cool stuff there. But like in terms of like actually like books that are fun to read, I honestly don't know.
Just
like,
say Harry Potter and move on. No.
The last thing I read was like this kind of really spooky alternate history novel called Fatherland, which is basically
That sounds spooky.
it starts out as a thriller and then just kind of becomes like a horror novel. It's really creepy and I love it because I like reading creepy stuff. I'm not a huge horror movie guy, but I like reading creepy stuff. But
Respect.
yeah.
Favorite video game?
You start this one. I feel like you play more games than the both of us.
Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2.
Absolutely the best campaign ever of any video game, I think.
I'm more into like really old games, like the ones that were made in like early 2000. Like, my favorite game is Mafia: City of Lost Heaven. That one, I've been playing the whole plot probably like 5 times over and over again. And Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3.
Yes.
Soundtrack.
Guy. That's my favorite video game of all time.
I gotta say Mass Effect, just the series Mass Effect. I completely spaced on that. I love Titanfall, but Mass Effect is probably.
What did Tony Hawk's Pro Skater remind you?
Yeah, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Like, it reminded me like just of Mass Effect. How could I forget about Mass Effect? You know, because as we all know, Tony Hawk features prominently in Mass Effect.
And you're gonna like this one, Star Wars Battlefront, first one.
Oh yeah.
Not the second one, not the third one, the first one.
There's a third Battlefront.
Yeah. Or was it they redid the first one?
I think they redid. They had Star Wars Battlefront. They had Star Wars Battlefront 2 that everybody hated, and then they just kind of fixed Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm talking about the first, like the very first
The
one.
OG.
The OG.
I'm an old head when it comes to video games. I don't really do much video game playing nowadays, but if you were to hand me a Super Nintendo and give me classic Super Mario Brothers, I will sit there for hours. If I had to pick a modern-y game, probably GTA, just because you can't go wrong with GTA.
Oh, dude.
But
I still play old GTA too.
yeah,
Like GTA Vice City.
Keeping it simple.
I like the old stuff, Donkey Kong Country, the Super Nintendo stuff like that. That's my realm of video games.
What about you?
What's that?
What about you?
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Hey.
Best game of all time. Best soundtrack of all time.
Yes.
That is a fact.
Yes. That was like my
best
whole
soundtrack for sure.
Yeah, that was my whole childhood.
What was your favorite subject in school?
History.
Yeah, same.
Honestly, same.
Yeah.
I'd say guitar class, but that's.
See, we didn't learn anything in the guitar class.
I mean, my school didn't really have a music class.
I don't know.
I mean, we had like one.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, no, I mean, we had one crazy asshole that was then replaced by another crazy asshole. But I don't think those kids learned anything either. But they definitely didn't learn to play any instruments, like for sure.
But yeah, I guess we all like history.
History.
Because it's really cool to learn about the events in the past, and
how did we get here?
Yeah.
How did we get to this?
Yeah. Why is shit so fucked up?
Right.
Yeah, it's basically. I mean, that's kind of what I'm trying to major in at this point. Emphasis on trying. But it's it can
Philosophy, right?
No, history.
It's history.
Anyway.
Would you rather explore the ocean or space?
Space.
None of us want to go into the ocean.
I can't swim.
I can't swim either.
I'm terrified of the ocean.
I'm a terrible swimmer.
Have you seen the shit that lives in the ocean? No.
You're not the first band that said that.
Are you kidding?
Dude, no, because like all of us, and look, listen, the reason that is because everybody who's in one of these bands is a huge fucking stoner, and everybody who's a huge fucking stoner has watched Planet Earth. And everybody who's watched Planet Earth has seen the episode where they go like into the Mariana Trench, and you see that fucking crab with the gigantic legs that's just eating the dead whale, and you're like, no, I don't want to go into the water again ever.
Dude, honestly, like I watched the Atlantis, and that scarred me.
Yeah, God, with the Leviathan, like
The big dude.
Oh fuck.
He was like the submarine was like this small compared to him. He was
Man,
like,
I love that movie.
There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah, it's always a bigger fish.
If you could be any animal, what animal?
A Gungan.
Wolf.
my favorite animal is an owl, but I kind of want to be a fox. Because I was watching like the videos on YouTube, like domesticated foxes, and they're so funny. Like they make funny noises, and it's pretty much it's like a cat, a dog, and a few other things, and they just like they're the cutest. And I feel like that would be me. Like I would just be making like a bunch of weird noises when people try to pet me.
It's an interesting fact that I know about you.
I honestly, when I was in the recovery, like from my injury, it's all I watched.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'd choose a wolf just because they're family oriented. They're the most, I guess.
loyal.
Yeah.
Loyal.
Yeah.
They're in the back. They're like their state. Like
Really tough.
Yeah.
family values are raised
Definitely.
higher.
I think I would actually pick an owl or maybe a hawk, because like nobody really fucks with you. You can just
Honestly,
Yeah.
owls are badass. Like,
Yeah.
that's still my favorite animal. Like owls.
Yeah, definitely. And it's
Three
just
great answers.
you can escape into the sky, and yeah, like no one's gonna try and eat you really,
Yeah.
except like people. But
I would.
I don't even think humans fuck
I
with
would-
owls though. Like
I
owls
would-
are just
I
on
would
another
sm-
level of.
I would
like,
smack a
sex.
human who eats an owl.
yeah, I mean, and like it's not. Yeah, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying there's definitely people out there who just like
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
hunt for sport and like probably have eaten an owl.
Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that.
No fans of that.
No, we don't eat owls.
All right, last question. If you were stranded on a desert island, what 3 items would you want to have with you?
That's it left the hardest question to the last.
Do the drum shells count as individual items?
Sure.
Well, I can't bring that.
Say goodbye to your fucking career.
Yeah, no, there it goes. Well, I'm on an island. I don't know.
True.
I'd bring.
Dude, well, I guess I can't bring a phone because they won't have a service there.
I'd bring a tent, a water purifier, and Takis.
I'll have. Okay, I know like one item is I'll bring that old school CD player, and I guess a CD mix. That's an item 2, and headphones. That's a item 3.
I second that, except I would bring a portable charger that lasts me forever, an iPod or iPhone filled with my entire music library, and
You'd probably have to be iPod because like there's no service.
Yeah.
So you'd have to like.
so an iPod specifically filled with everything I want to listen to, and then just headphones, basically music.
That's
Very
all.
cool.
I just want to survive, but now I'm considering living on an island without any of the music that I listen to, and I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
that would just be
fuck it.
miserable, bro.
Yeah, it
Like,
would be really fucking.
you wake up and what? Just walk around the sand.
Yeah, like what am I?
Go
What am,
catch with
In
fish.
silent, like it's like somebody stole your car. It's like somebody stole your car radio, and now you just sit in silence.
exactly. Like, I mean, and what am I gonna do? Recreate Meshuggah on coconuts? Like that's not gonna happen. It's just
banging on.
just set up an entire thing of just random shit that makes noise, just trying to make music.
Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on and chatting it up a little bit. It was nice to finally meet you. I really appreciate you supporting me, and this is Punk Promotions.
Dude,
Absolutely.
same goes to you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for
Thanks. It's
shouting
been
us out.
hella fun.
We'll talk soon. Have a great night.
Absolutely. You too.
Adios.
Thank you.
Good one.
Peace.